Welcome in to Capper's Cave. I'm your host, Lorenzo de Costa. This is free picks and shit on Capper's Cave, brought to you by Intellect Sports. We have NFL wildcard week, college football championship game, best bets. We have the one, the only, Locksmith Larry, or Larry the Locksmith, whichever you prefer. How we doing today? Yeah, man, I'm doing good, man. Just ready for a good weekend. I am too. I love these weeks. Love this weekend, but we'll talk about that in a few minutes. We did pretty good last week. Tore up the CFP. Had both games. Did well. Still above 56 for the year. Actually hovering closer to, I believe, 58 or 57 something. So good year. You know, with COVID and everything. Still tough and still got some problems coming up this week, I'm sure. But we'll see. We'll keep an eye out for you. Well, let's get into it. We'll talk a little bit of news. There is some things I want to get off my chest. I'm sure you've heard this week, but college football, obviously, there's not much news. The games weren't that great to watch, but great to bet on, you know, especially if you won and had both dogs. Yeah, there was some garbage shit at the end of the Notre Dame game, but we will take it. And then the battle, Alabama, Ohio State. Looking to be a good offensive battle for the championship. Might have a few plays there. We'll jump into that. Actually, we're going to do our college football probably at the end, right? Since it's a Monday night game, we'll probably do that towards the end. All right, the NFL. Already some COVID issues going into Wild Card Week. Can we possibly say post-holiday COVID? Head coach, Browns. I mean, I swear, just the worst luck. Kevin Stefanski out. 2 additional coaches, 2 players. They haven't listed yet, so I'm not sure, but what the fuck, COVID? This could cause some problemos for our picks. But again, we might have to wait on this one to see. Could be good or bad, but I mean, we have to wait and see on this bet. We have to. Remember, only so many games left in the league, so they could suspend the season. Could they? And maybe, I mean, I guess the only positive is they would maybe get some larger crowds at the games if we waited a couple months. But nobody wants to do that. But it may be best. I mean, what if? So help us God. Tom Brady, or some say Jesus himself, were to get COVID. The league would immediately suspend the games for him, would they not? Even Mahomes, I would think now. But the ratings they would plunge in those games. Now, people would watch them, just to watch, of course. But I just think they would lose a lot. They would lose a lot. You can't do that. I mean, you might have to do that. But again, let's move on. The PA teams, Pennsylvania teams, showed us how to tank. Different outcomes on both, but both effective. Let's start with the Eagles. Yeah, Doug Peterson. Benching of Tua. I'm sure you've heard, if you're a sports fan, this is all they've talked about all fucking week. Everyone complaining. Seems that's what we are these days, a bunch of emotional fucking complainers who think we know everything. Yeah, I get it. Giants fans, pissed. I would be too. But you sucked this year. In fact, the whole division sucked. You shouldn't be able to complain about shit. Nobody had a winning record. Shut the fuck up, right? You can't blame franchises for wanting a better pick and looking towards the future. Especially your counterparts in the division. If you can one-up them in the division and jump them, who cares? I mean, this shit happens every year. Just, it's not as blatant, and it's not as last minute. Now, do I feel Doug Peterson is the coach of the future? No, but not because of that call. Would have made the same call myself, but again, I'm not a coach, nor will I ever be, for many obvious reasons. But maybe little league or some shit. But listen though, this is where it gets interesting. Okay, because I truly feel bad for Suffield, the backup for the Eagles. I mean, coach basically says you suck, right? He basically says you suck.
You suck, you jackass.
But to his excuse, Jalen Hurts was 9 for 20 in that game with an interception. So really, all the haters, New York fans, all of ESPN, get the fuck out of here. This is a business. Look to the future. I know you guys want something to talk about. controversy, complaints. I mean, you can only control so much when tanking at an office level. But the players always want to play, and you can't tank with one person. But again, all the people complaining, players, you're just dissing your fellow player, saying he sucks. Poor guy. Really? Everybody complaining, oh, you should have been. We tried to lose. Is that what you think of him? I mean, buck up, guys. You had 3 fucking wins on the season before this game. Right? Or 3, whatever. Who gives a shit? Quit complaining. Teams do it every year, right? Look at Cincy last year. When you come in and you start your week 7 and you're 0-7. Really? Are you trying to win at that point? Are you kind of feeling out players? I mean, you started putting in Finley over Dalton. I mean, doesn't that scream tank? Either player last year would have been tanking, I guess, but the Giants' last few seasons, their last seasons, last couple of them, can we just chalk that up as a tank just to get draft picks? People are so fucking emotional when the tank is so obvious. Just so emotional these days. Anyways, man up, woman up. Who the fuck cares? The NFL is about winning and making dough, and you can't do either without the talent from the front office and down to the players. Correct? Now, let's look at the Steelers. In the game, Steelers-Browns game. Like we said, the 2 PA teams. Must be a thing to do in Pittsburgh. Which I will add was one of our best bets last week with the Steelers. Pitt sat their top 4 playmakers. Cameron Hayward, TJ Watt, Big Ben, Minka Fitzpatrick. How is this not tanking? I mean, there was room to move up to number 2 spot from Buffalo. I mean, they tanked probably hoping to play the Browns. Same fucking thing, right? You're not trying to lose, but you're also not trying to win. Listen, enough of my rant. I mean, really, I'm sorry. It really is. Yeah, man, you sound pissed, man. Well, I am. I mean, just quit complaining, even though that's what I'm doing right now. And this game isn't about winning when you're out of the playoffs. Or wait, it is. It's about winning in the future. If you don't have it now. It is. All right, we got our crazy Super Bowl picks. We got a couple crazy ones. We like to do this at the start of the playoff. We do one at the start of the year. And should we give them now? Yeah, man, who you got? Well, let me ask you first. Let me ask you before I give mine, because mine may be a little off the wall, but not too far-fetched. What do you got? Well, man, I'm sure you know. I know who you're going to pick in the AFC, man. I mean, we'll see. I'm not sure about it yet, but, we'll see. Yeah, man, exactly. But, man, I got to stick with the 2 best in the league, man, with Mahomes and Rodgers. See, I'm not going with the most popular picks. Maybe as of now. But this has been a crazy year. And my picks, these would be an emotional matchup. One that probably portrays the year. Tampa and Buffalo. Would this not be a kick in the ass for Buffalo to play Tampa in the Super Bowl? After your first year winning the division due to, probably his absence, probably helped a lot. I mean, they're playing great. Maybe it would be. It'd be like, sorry, Buffalo. It's me again, Tom Brady. You're welcome for the division. I don't know. He doesn't talk like Belichick, does he? I don't know. He would be like, sorry, I have to whoop your ass for the 100th time in 20 years. Okay. It would be bittersweet, but any Bills fan would take it for a shot at revenge, right? I would. But I can only imagine, the Bills fan, the Mafia guys and girls. It would be worse. 2021 would be worse than 2020. The whole year, I'd cry every day. Deep depression. You probably wouldn't see me. You wouldn't. All right, without further ado, let's get to what we came here for and get to the first game. I believe it's... Oh, yeah. It's the Bills. Bills' first playoff game at home in how many years? But who do they bring there? Indy. Frank Reich. That's kind of scary. Bills now shooting down at 6.5 points now, minus 6.5. It's the 1 p.m. game. And he went down from about 7.5, I think, to start. I mean, not sure why. Is this due to Frank Reich revisiting the old confines of Orchard Park? I mean, probably not. I mean, no bias. I mean, we all see this happening right now with the Bills. They seem to be unstoppable on offense. And the defense is heating up. They've averaged like 17 points a game over the last 4. They have the talent, especially in the back, with White, Josh Norman, still proving he's a force with a pick 6 last week. Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, Wallace. These guys are clicking and should spell trouble, for Old Man Rivers. He was looking his age the last couple weeks. I mean, now you got to face these DBs in a shootout. It won't work. They'll have to come hard with the run game. Play their best run game. But the run won't do it with Allen and his ability to put up numbers quick. Now, we do expect Indy to throw everything they've got, right? With Reich, he's a good offensive mind. You'll see some trick plays, but where does stuff like that lie with Rivers? He's not a trick play guy. Probably not much of a book there anyways, and we can't expect good execution even if he does do it. With that, how often can we even expect Rivers to throw 30-plus yards? He doesn't that much, especially in the cold Buffalo weather and the wind. I mean, let's just look at Rivers' past. Where has he played in the past years as far as bad weather? He was with San Diego, played out west a lot. I mean, even this year, he went into a good division. In case you don't know, Indianapolis plays in a dome. Houston plays in a dome in their division. And then you get Tennessee, Jacksonville, which generally has good weather. Allen, he has the arm and the youth for this weather. Oh, and now he has the confidence of a 12-foot fucking bear? The way he's playing? Listen, Indy's going to try to focus on the run here, but so will the Bills' D. And this won't cut it to keep up with this offense. It just won't. Rivers is going to be pressured. He's going to be pressured to make plays. It's going to cause turnovers, bad third down conversions. Expect this game to get out of hand. Look at last game. Bills against a good Miami D that most teams, if you don't know, they've had trouble putting up points against Miami. Bills had a slow start in that game. Not until the second quarter, mid-second quarter. And still managed to put up 56 points. Dangerous is what that is. They're putting up an average of 166 more yards per game than their opponents. That's redunculous. Bills dominate 42-19. Lock it up, Larry. LA Rams at the Hawks of Seattle. Seattle sitting at -4, over-under sitting at 42.5. This is the next game at 4 p.m. Mr. Goff is back, and the play of Seattle is not that impressive. They're winning, but look at who. Last 6 games. San Francisco, LA, Washington, New York Jets, New York Giants, Philly. Their best team was LA. They did win, but they lost earlier in the season to them. So this will be the grunge match. This is going to come down to who plays better D. And I think it's safe to say it'll be the Rams. Why 4 points? I think this is due to the experience of Russell and Pete Carroll in the postseason. Maybe. But Sean McVay has some experience winning games in the postseason, doesn't he? Does he not? And he has glimpses at times of, this offensive genius. Now you got a D that has possibly the 2 best players on defense in the league. Darnold, Ramsey. And now that you got a manageable QB with some weapons. I know. On the cover here. Jared Goff he's just one of those players you don't look putting money behind. I get this. I get it. Compared to Russell. But take your single man fucking bias off the field. It's a team game. Take it off. This might be a goodbye earlier, as I'm sure peeps are waiting to see the strength of Goff in practice, as we are too. The line will go down, and we won't bet on it if he's obviously not playing or if he just looks soft throwing the ball, or if he feels like he's protecting and just not throwing well. We'll have to see. We'll know more probably after today, but again, we might want to wait on it. But again, it's a higher payout if we like the money line, which we do right now if he's healthy. So there's a little bit of risk, but we do like it. So lock it up. Next up, the 8:30 game or 8 o'clock game? Who cares? But Tampa Bay Bucks at Washington football team. Washington, yeah, they get a home game somehow. Very deserving. They're getting 8 points. Over-under sitting at 45. 8 points, huh? Seems generous, I feel. I like the Bucks with double digits, right? By our models, we do have them at do we have them at 11? Yeah. But let's dig in. Tom Brady versus the Washington no-names. Really. Literally. Who else besides McLaurin? And that's not even a big name. Do you know? Just names alone, we like this. I mean, think about it. All right, if you matched every single position on each side, right, each opponent, you'd laugh. It's funny because they think they're big names, too. I mean, look at rookie Chase Young, which he will be, talking shit on Brady. Sorry, bro. You can't do that yet. You can't. Sorry, bro. You can't. And Haskins, I know he's not with the team, but acting like a baller, dicing bagels at the strip club. Now he's cut from the team. Really, acting like a 7-year starting veteran quarterback. Actually, take that back, like a receiver, because vet QBs, they don't do that. Is this an Ohio State thing, Haskins, Chase Young? We won't get into that in the show. Maybe another day. But I do like the no-names fight they've put up here with Alex Smith at the helm. But there's no match here. This game will get ugly. With the D-line for Tampa starting to click right now, Smith won't know what to do. What does he do? He's safe. He's always been. That's his best attribute. He'll throw the ball away when pressured, won't take risks. And these are the games he has to. But he might not even have time to. There could be a couple crucial sacks, I would believe, sack fumbles that lead to some easy points for Brady. I mean, it sounds like we heard this week that Rivera might be rotating between Smith and Heineken, whoever the fuck he is. Right? Is it Heineken? I don't always split time with quarterbacks, but when I do, I lose. Man, yeah, that's Modelo, man, not Heineken. Get your beers right, man. It is. This is true. My bad. Yeah, it is. That was a bad joke. Back to the game, though. Also, you have Brown and Brady clicking right now, right? Don't like Brown as a human, but dude can still play at a high level. And he's going to come to play in the playoffs. Oh, and you have Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and this no-name tight end Gronkowski to complement. These are not complimentary names. They're the main course. They have several main courses for Brady to feast on, and he will. It's Brady. It's playoffs. Don't bet against. We've seen these games in the past postseasons. Teams that barely make it. They barely, just by scraping by to get in. Scrappy play, They come and play a well-rounded team, and it gets ugly. And we say well-rounded due to positional players here for the Bucs, as we've accused them throughout the year of just not being able to find their identity. And they still don't have it, I don't think. But they've improved. But I still don't think it's good enough to get it over the hump in the playoffs. But we're not talking about that yet. We're not talking about that game yet. Really, though, what positives, any positive angle, can you find for Washington in this one? Easy, the pass rush. But Brady don't do sacks. He gets rid of the ball quick. Now, his numbers under pressure are not that great, but you know what? The guy's been in the league how long? He's been under pressure. He won't need to go downfield as these guys, even as much as air out Arians wants to. Brady was going to call the plays. And it'll be eerily similar to the Pats playbook. I guarantee you. Eat the points with the Bucs, -8. Lock it up. It's time for Sunday matchups. Baltimore Ravens at Tennessee Titans. Titans getting 3 points at home. Over-under sitting at 55. This is the 1 p.m. Sunday game. Out of all the games, I'd like to say this should be one of the most exciting to watch, right? If not the day for the weekend. Two teams with the capabilities to run a bunch, open up the pass, and put a ton of points on the board. This could be another one of those where the best D wins. And again, safe to say right now, the Ravens. Safe to say, best coach too. Harbaugh, let's talk about him for a minute. I feel he's underrated. Well, not underrated. Just, he stays off the radar. And we can say, what, the excellence radar. I mean, this is what good coaches do. New players, new team, and they're successful every year. Tell me when the last time the Ravens haven't been good. Maybe 1 year in the last decade. Won a Super Bowl with Flacco. And now have a completely different quarterback. It's just adjusting, adapting, great coaching. They're scary right now. Had some hiccups mid-season, but remember, they did have better odds to go to the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl than KC did at the beginning of the season. Lamar, he's got to be the most dynamic player, exciting playmaker in the game today. And that should show in this game. You can see where we're leaning. But this is a low confidence pick with Baltimore. I think it's a good tease bet. I think the Ravens, they'll be focused on enacting road revenge here. Either, from a brutal 28-12 divisional playoff upset from a year ago, a heartbreaking 30-24 overtime loss in Week 11, both in Baltimore. The Ravens weren't the same offensive groove as they were the last 7 games with Lamar, Dobbins, Marquise Brown than they are right now, right? Again, they have the defensive advantage. They have a capable pass rush, a deep secondary. And the run defense, they have showed up of late, which is good for slowing down Derrick Henry. Listen, our models have this around 2 points. But we like to tease. Baltimore wins 34-32. These games with the 3-point and below spreads in the playoffs, these are good teases that work both ways. As in this game, we know Tennessee does have the ability to have a deep run and maybe win this game outright. So, again, we said we were going to cap every game. They probably wouldn't be our best bets, but you know what? We want to cap every one for you, give you a little bit of information on how we feel about them. So again, teaser might be the play here on either side. So if one goes up or one goes down, I would go towards it. It goes to 2.5, go to Baltimore. It goes to 3.5, go to Tennessee. But I really think we like Baltimore winning this game. There's too much revenge at stake. There's too much they have to prove. We like it. Let's move on. The Chicago Bears. They do that right there, Bears. At the New Orleans Saints. A hefty double-digit spread. Is that the first one? It is. Over-under sitting at 47. Does this have dumpsters fire written all over it? With the return of some offensive weapons for the Saints? Well, I think that's what the odds makers are signaling right now. But Kamara still out indefinitely with COVID and could return as long as he tests negative this week. Taysom Hill, he's out with a concussion. He'll probably play, but again, we're not sure. This would be a good game to sit him. Or is this lining up to be another playoff heartbreaker for the Saints? We think so. Is that crazy to say? I think we think so. No, we don't think outright win by Chicago, but listen, it really depends on what quarterback you're going to get with the Bears. Trubisky. Which side is he? I mean, he's going to have to be at his best. Now, not only to win and cover, but for his career. If he can prove himself in the playoffs, it just might save his career as a starter. Bears have the D to contend in this one. They took him to overtime in the last matchup. Breeze went for 282 TDs. Not bad, but they kept him down. Now, yes, Foles was in that game, but we may have an advantage without him. Listen, the D kept him in this game and should here as well. Both teams have a stellar Ds. Another reason we like the spread. This should be lower scoring and close. Now you potentially lose Kamara and Hill, the top 2 rushers every week. This could be huge, but either way we like it with a double digit. The Bears are hungry. And with the coaching staff on the hot seat, as well as Trubisky, expect a fight. I mean, this is a good spot to catch the Saints looking ahead. This is kind of like Houston-Buffalo game last year. Houston, everybody was on the hot seat there. They did. They won one game and then, out. I mean, Chicago, no. They're probably not going to win this game. But without the normal Superdome crowd, I think they're able to keep it close. Final score prediction, Saints win, but Bears cover 28-24. Lock it up, my man. Well, Larry, I think it's quite obvious where you're going. Only one game left on the board besides the CFP, but I already know you're not doing that unless you got some soccer picks or some fucking water polo or what do you got, man? Well, man, you said it. I'm going with some shake and bake, man. I'm going with it.
Thanks, Tom. Yeah, you could say that 10,000 times and it still wouldn't be enough.
It fires me up, man.
I love it. Say it one more time.
Shake and bake!
Yeah, that's right, man. I played that just for you, man. Yeah, man. Time to bake it up. Bake up little Steel City shit cakes, man. With not only your host and chef, Baker Mayfield, man. I tell you what, man, I got a chubby just thinking about it. Wow, man, you really went all metaphoric on that ass, didn't you? Yeah, man, that's how I roll. No, you really don't. But do continue. Well, that's kind of all I had, man. Really? Well, man, I just like to set up for the Browns, man. Baker's got high energy, man. He's gonna be pumped as a pig in mud, man. And these Steelers, man, they ain't playing so hot. In fact, I think they played better with Rudolph at the QB, man. Also, you gotta stick with the best run game in the football, man. In the playoffs, usually gets you a win, but you know they probably gonna lose because Big Ben's gonna pull something out of his ass last few seconds, and then they win because some horse shit call that goes their way, man. I tell you, man, Pitt's going to win in a doozer. It's going to be a doozer, 24-19. Okay, I do agree, but I need more points here. I need more points. Not just the point of view. I mean numbers, points. I can't trust the Browns without their coach, as he's out due to COVID, and some others as well. I'd prefer a tease, but smart play would be the Steelers' money line here. I just can't see them losing to the Browns at home in the playoffs. This QB coach combo, it gets you deep in the playoffs when you have a good thing going. And you have to side with the experience here. And you're not even getting any experience with the new coach, and he's already out the first playoff game. So no, I can't put this on the board with the COVID issues. Just some angles and shit. Sorry, Larry. Sorry. Man, come on, man. Sorry, I can't. You win. Tell you what, dinner's on me. Anywhere, take it. You take out if you prefer. If Browns win outright, without the spread and just straight up, I'll give you dinner for a week. Any restaurant or frozen pizza you want, whatever the fuck you want. Hell yeah, man. I'm definitely gonna get me a bucket of KFC. A bucket, huh? Yeah, man, not just a chicken, but a bucket of the mashed taters, man. Best taters ever. Oh man, yeah, I will agree. I was about to make fun of you because of it, but I can't deny KFC and those mashed potatoes and gravy. I can't. I mean, it'll save me money as well too if you decide to go that route. But I don't think it'll even happen. No, man, don't worry, man. I'll make sure to get at least a hundo worth, man. I got kids and shit. Yeah, you know what? I bet you would even if you didn't have kids, but I'm sure you would run up the tab. But, all right, without further ado, let's get into the college football playoff game. Got a lot of good ones. All right, we got another warning. Yes, slight warning as the game still remains on track for Monday night. Tuesday evening, though, there were some concerns that emerged from Ohio State as far as the status for the game. They had some COVID-19 issues with their program. Won't get into details, I suppose. Listen, we all don't want key players out for this game. We don't, but if they have to delay it to produce the most competitive game possible, please do. So we'll probably find out more in the next day or two. Listen, I think the Buckeyes, they answered any doubts about its playoff credentials, right? A 49-28 victory over number 3 Clemson in the semis. I mean, Fields, he's coming off a 6-touchdown performance, despite taking a nasty hit in the second quarter, which we all thought he was done with, like half his freaking ribs broken. Second-year coach Ryan Day expects Fields to play. And the running game has taken off with this Oklahoma transfer, Trey Sermon. And when I say taken off, I mean like a fucking rocket, a fucking avalanche, a fucking, you know what I mean. And this plays well into our play. Listen, this is going to be tough to prepare for any defense, especially one that can't stop anyone. I mean, you know, Saban is going to be solely focused on offense. He said it himself. You can't win with defense anymore in this league. And yes, they probably have one of the best offenses in the league, if not the best. But they got a lot of film on them. Ohio State doesn't. They still have tricks up their sleeve and should pose problems for the Bama D. Also, the film on the Buckeyes D is not there either. And they're coming into form right now. You don't know what to expect. With the D-line and the backs, they look great. They were in there so quick last game. Which should also pose problems for Mac Jones, who is he's a pure pocket passer. Look at last game for Bama against Notre Dame. Yeah, they controlled the whole game, but only put up 31 points. Also didn't cover. They went 2 for 13 on third downs. A lot to fix here. Let's look at Bama's past championship games. 2015, they beat Clemson 45-40, only by 5 points. Then in 2016, they lost to Clemson 34-31. 2017, Georgia 26. They beat Georgia 26-23, 3 points. 2018 was the only one. It was 44-16, but they lost to Clemson. So it's safe to say when they win, close game, average margin of victory 4 points. When they lose, much larger. Also note here, Buckeyes won this matchup in the semis, 2014, 42-35. Get this, the Buckeyes are 1-8 ATS as an underdog since 2012. Listen, take the Bucks with the points, but you might want to wait, as this should shoot up. And again, we might want to wait for COVID as well, because I think it's going to shoot up. I think the whole public, even the sharps, everybody's going to be on the Buckeye. I mean, everybody's going to be on Bama, which we think they probably do win, but it's going to be a close one. We also like the over here. Should be some big points, but you might want to buy that early because that's going to shoot up as well. I believe that's it, though. So, good luck. Or actually, fuck luck. Make smarter plays. Right? You don't need luck. Well, sometimes you do. See you next week for the divisional round playoffs in the NFL. I'm your host, Lorenzo de Costa. This is Free Picks and Shit. Follow us on Twitter or Facebook and get the Cappers Cave app for more picks on NBA, college basketball. Get it at the iTunes Store or Google Play. Thanks and good luck.